So, travelling to Paris, but for what reason? An assistant for a man that goes by the name of Louis Vuitton invited me to come look at his new collection of clothes. I said, "Oh, that's nice, man, please send me photos." But they insisted on putting people in them and making them walk in circles as Rosalia sang and danced beautifully on a car. I too was put in the clothes, but had the luxury of sitting. I've never met Mr. Vuitton before. I'm not sure what he gets up to these days, but hope that in Paris I can thank him with a cup of coffee or maybe a trip round the Louvre. Nothing romantic though, purely a business exchange. After all, I do owe him one. The rings were great. The shoes were nice. The trousers were great for getting sturdy in. And the jacket, wow, reminded me of everything I wanted my American dream to be. I've never had an American dream before, but I have lived in America. When I got into the hotel, I asked the woman at the front desk if she knew where Louis Vuitton was and whether she could put me in touch with him. She just looked very confused. Then I said, "Excusez-moi, madame, vous parlez anglais?" She said, "Yes, of course I speak English." I then went to get coffee, then a sesame coffee, then coffee and wine coffee. Then I thought, let's see this city. Let's go search for Louis Vuitton in Paris. It wasn't him. Then I looked at this painting. I realised painting is a lot like photography. The artist has spent a lot of time focusing on the men in the front, while not giving much detail to the men at the back. The painter controls where the focus is, just like the cameraman. Then I realised it was getting late in the day and I desperately needed to remind somebody I was famous.
Do you know like the Avatar films, like the blue people films?
Yeah, I know.
So that's just come out, yeah.
It was then showtime, and the all-important question returned into my head. Where was Louis Vuitton? I'm sure everyone else wanted the same answers, as they were all very hostile and screaming loads of names, but none of them Louis, which seemed odd, given it was his event. I then took some photos, which I'm sure were going to the man himself, so I wanted to smile and show my jovial, kind-hearted nature, but the woman asked me to stand straight, so I jokingly leaned to the side and play about, but then she tells me to piss off and that I'm not taking it seriously, so she invites somebody else up. I'm sure they're also extremely talented and genius of their time. That's Rosalia. She's standing on a car. Don't worry, she's allowed to. I didn't really know much about her before the show, but she's got an amazing voice. The clothes were great, and the sound system was amazing. And Rosalia wasn't just your average pop star, she actually cared about what she was doing. It was nice to see. She was very talented. Then, once the show was done, everyone stood up and gave a round of applause. It was very deserved. I thought it was a very well put together show. Kodak Black then jumped on stage. He then continued to get sturdy. I couldn't blame him. The clothing Louis Vuitton makes are perfect for the activity. They inspire sturdiness.
Yeah, we have it. Okay, you can call him. I told him to pull up.
It was chaos after the show, but it still didn't overwhelm the chaos that was in my heart, for I just found out from Tiger that Louis Vuitton is dead. The Louis Vuitton show is done. Thank you very much for inviting me. It was very cool, and I feel very grateful about life, because life is, when it's that bizarre, you can only look around and appreciate all its mess. So thank you, Louis Vuitton, for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Dave for being nice and a down-to-earth guy. Usher, I could have done with a little bit more leg room, mate, but it's fine. Sick. I'm gonna shave the moustache.